Hi everyone, it's me Jessica. Thanks for joining me today. Today, once again, we're going to do something a little countercultural. We're going to think outside the box and we're going to explore an experience together that for me has been quite revolutionary. So I hope it's the same for you. I do want to say thank you to everyone who's gotten their copy of Be With. If you find what we are doing in these videos helpful or that it has value for you, I guarantee you will feel the same way about what's in this book. So thank you so much to those of you who grabbed it. If you want to grab it, you can get it at yourmagicla.com, and it really does support and help the work that we're doing. And I pack them all myself. It's completely self-published, I really feel it each time someone gets a copy. It really is quite thrilling for me, like in real life thrilling. Okay, so in September, I was interviewed for the Happier Approach podcast. And I recently, when I posted the link of like the finished edited podcast, I listened to it again. And I was like, gosh darn it. There's something I've been trying to clear up for over 10 years now that is still misunderstood. And I feel like this is a harmful misunderstanding, which is why today's video is all about perhaps exploring it in a more expansive way and maybe like getting to a new place with it for all of us, okay? And that is this. There is still this pervasive belief that the way to be a good meditator and the way to get the benefits out of meditation is via what we call mindfulness. And I'm all for mindfulness, but I think that what that word leads to is people saying things to me like this. I can't meditate, I can't control my thoughts. Or I can't meditate because I can't stop my thoughts. Or I can't meditate because my brain won't let me. And I want to remind us all that these mindfulness practices were over thousands of years developed and practiced by monks. And I'm assuming that if we are watching YouTube, we are not monks on a mountaintop. We are more what I would call householders, right? We have responsibilities in the real world. No one is like cooking food in the village and bringing it up the mountain to us, right? We have responsibilities, real life responsibilities. And those real life responsibilities really rely heavily on the thinking mind to get all that stuff done that is necessary for us to live our lives. So for a monk on a mountaintop, engaging in mindfulness would look and feel one kind of way. And what I believe us modern householders need to be engaging with more in our meditation is, I just coined this word the other day, more heartfulness and more soulfulness. And so in today's video, I want us to sort of explore what mindfulness feels like for us in this moment today, what heartfulness would feel like, and what soulfulness feels like. And that way, you can get to a place where it's less rigid, there's less rules, it's less linear, and you can have a personal spiritual practice like meditation without the constraints of like, oh, I'm not good at it because my mind isn't behaving, or because in some way, I'm lacking in terms of my control of my mind. All of this is like just this focus on the mind. And I don't think that that's that helpful for householders because we're already using our mind. Our minds, if anything, are in overdrive, right? And our minds are already full, and we might want to make our hearts more full and our soul more full when we're in our meditation practice. That actually might be a more skillful way to use our powerful like attention, our awareness in the present moment in real time. So let's try this out, okay? And we're just sort of playing around. You don't have to close your eyes. I like to close my eyes. You can leave your eyes open if you want. But all I want to do is sort of, instead of leading us through like a proper meditation, I want to lead us through just so we can taste the flavor of this mindfulness, so we can taste the flavor of what heartfulness would feel like, and we can taste the flavor of what soulfulness could feel like. And you know, if you've listened to one of the over 100 recorded meditations on my site, or if you've been to one of my live events, you very likely have heard me say the phrase, and now gently draw your awareness down from the area of the head and down into the area of the heart. All of my meditations, all of the things I'm teaching, I'm always going a little deeper than this mind area, right? Of like what we think of in traditional meditation, down into the body, down into the heart, down into the soul, and then out into the spirit or the energy of life as we know it, of all things, right? So that's a lot more room to play around in. It's also access to a lot more felt states of being. So I really encourage us to, like, at least for now, let's abandon, you know, this like over focus, this obsession with the mind in our meditation practice, and instead engage with perhaps the level of the heart or the level of the soul or the level of the spirit of all that is, and just see how much grooviness and pleasure and fresh insight and like a nice flavor to bring to our daily life as modern people who have responsibilities and, you know, who are always putting our thinking mind at the top of the hierarchy of our being in daily life. So here's our chance. For me, in my meditation practice, it's delicious in there. Yes, I experience all the full range of emotions and feelings. I experience a full range of thoughts, from fears or fantasies about the future to memories of the past and looping thoughts and all of that. I experience all those things. But I've been meditating in this very deep way for so long that even in the midst of difficult thoughts or difficult emotions, there is this kernel of joy that is unshakable. And I'll tell you what, that kernel of joy does not come from the level of the mind. It comes from the level of the heart, the soul, and the spirit of all that is. So let's make those our companions in meditation, and they will become our companions in daily life as well. And I know this is not like a traditional reason to do a thing, you know, in terms of meditation and spirituality, but oh my gosh, like, life is hard enough. Our meditations should be respite. They should be places where we can get some R&R, some healing, some soothing, some settling down, so that our whole lives become more peaceful, more joyful, and settled. And so let's try this on. You try it for yourself. As with everything I do, I'm just saying my ideas and my experiences and what, you know, sort of like my helpers would like me to share. Everything that I present to you, whether it's in book form or via recording or in person, it's all there for you to test out for yourself the efficacy of it. Does it work? Yes. Do it more. Is it not working for you? Stop it. Stop it with no guilt, no thoughts about it. Find your thing, find your way. Okay. You don't have to close your eyes, but you can if you want. It's up to you. And let's just begin by using this little musical space to engage with mindfulness. So mindfulness means that we are awake to what's happening in our mind in real time. So this means we're watching all thoughts arise, exist, and then flow on their way. So the mind churns out a thought or a memory or a fear or a fantasy or an idea. We touch that thought with our awareness, and then we let it sail on. And of course, this is like what I think most of society thinks meditation is. So let's engage with it for a second and reserve a little part of your consciousness just to be witnessing, like, what's the flavor of this mindfulness? What's the felt sense of it? How does it feel to have so much attention and awareness in real time on what's going on the level of the mind? So moment to moment, breath to breath, just being with the mind and seeing what it's churning out, letting every thought arise, exist, and flow on its way, and tasting the flavor of mindfulness for yourself. Maybe one more cycle of breath, just tasting the flavor of that mindfulness, feeling even where in your body your attention is. You feel easy, peaceful, relaxed, something else, whatever it is perfect, however it is. And tasting the felt sense of mindfulness in this moment. Here comes that famous phrase, very gently drawing our awareness down from the area of the mind and down into the area of the heart. And now, in the same way that we experience mindfulness, let's experience for ourselves in this moment heartfulness, being full of heart, being awake together with our heart. And compared to the mind, it's quite likely the heart is more sort of subtle, does turn towards us as we turn towards it. If it helps to imagine the heart as your lifelong loyal friend and companion, which of course it has been, like listening to your friend, the heart, and spending time with the heart. And again, a little piece of your awareness, your consciousness is like tasting the flavor of this heartfulness and perhaps even comparing it to that flavor of mindfulness. So now we are in the heart. We are full of heart, we are with our heart, moment to moment, breath to breath, whatever happens is perfect. So enjoying this little section of music, just side by side with the heart, full of heart, heartful. One or two more cycles of breath, just being heartful with the heart. And now very gently drawing the awareness down from the heart down into the soul. For me, I feel the seat of my soul is about a couple inches below my belly button, but in the center of my torso. So it's this low belly kind of, it's the seat of this primal, instinctual, intuitive knowing that is inside me, a very important part of me, the soul. And so in your own way, locating the soul within the body. And now engaging in some soulful meditation. And compared to the heart, the soul may be a lot more sort of righteous or passionate because the soul knows what we really desire. The soul knows what will really satisfy and thrill us. And it might have been waiting a long time for us to drop down into the space where we're spending time, moment to moment, breath to breath with the soul, We're becoming soulful with each cycle of breath that we take. And of course, there's that little part of our consciousness that's staying awake for like, what's the flavor of soulfulness for me in this moment? What's the felt sense of being soulful in real time? This little musical space is, soulful time, time with the soul. What's that like? Few more cycles of breath in this soulful exploration. Just like our mind and heart need to be healthy for us to be healthy. In my opinion, so too does the soul need to be healthy. And the condition of our soul can mirror our condition as we live our daily lives. So being really kind of sweet and attentive these last few cycles of breath, just exploring this level of soulfulness. Awake to what the soul wants, desires. How is the soul doing? And then finishing up this experience by choosing your favorite place. Of the 3 places we opted to rest our awareness today, the mind, the heart, the soul, choosing your favorite of the 3, your favorite today, and bringing your attention back to that space. So for me, the heart felt really like a great place to explore and sort of meditate my way through. So that's where I'm choosing to bring my awareness. But you make your own choice. I encourage you to choose the space that was had the best flavor for you today, that the felt sense of it was really an energetic match for you in this moment. And a few more cycles of breath, just experiencing that space, whatever space you've chosen, whether the mindful, the heartful, the soulful. Staying there, resting there, moment to moment, breath to breath. Maybe 1 or 2 more cycles of breath in your chosen place. Becoming full of mind, full of heart, or full of soul. And then when you hear the sound of the bells, you can open your eyes. So I hope that gave you a sense, a felt sense, an embodied sense of the difference in flavor between mindfulness and this new thing that I'm really getting into. I've actually been into it this whole time, but I finally have a name for it, of heartfulness. And then of course we have soulfulness, and we could even expand this exploration out into spiritedness, but maybe in a future video we will. But my point today is that we want to taste the flavor of these and find the ones that are most helpful for us, the most skillful for us to engage in, as sort of the locus or the center or the genesis of our meditation experiences. And just because other people and apps and companies have sort of like told us what meditation is and that we're bad at it because we're not mindful, like let's let them do them, but we're gonna do us. And what we do is like we get right down into it and we give ourselves permission to not only engage in our meditation in terms of the mind, the level of the mind, but of course we may really want to center our practices around the heart, or the soul, or something else that works really well for us. And so I hope that you have a sense of that and that you play around with it this week. You may find even other sort of center points for your meditation experiences, and I would love to hear about them. So anyway, have a great week. I'll see you next week with something else countercultural. And thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Have a good one.